Hi, welcome back to the Barrett channel. Welcome to another daily update of the coronavirus situation from here in Shenzhen, China. We'll start with the figures today. So currently, as of confirmed this morning, there were 17,387 confirmed cases. There were 21,558 further suspected cases. There have been 362 deaths in total, and there are 490 patients who've recovered. Obviously, since yesterday, the number of patients that have recovered is accelerating, which is good news. I think I'd like to see some more data. I've had a search around the internet and I can't find any data. It'd be good to start knowing some of the numbers, sort of who's recovering and who's dying, i.e. the age of people, the gender, to see if there's any patterns that are emerging here. Initially, I was aware that it was mainly older people with sort of other medical complications that were the main victims of this. However, I haven't seen any data for a number of days. If anybody does know of any data on that would be really useful to take a look at. So let's get on to the sort of news about the situation today. So first thing is that the first of the emergency field hospitals that are being built in Wuhan has been handed over to the Chinese military. These are the people that are going to run that, and hopefully it will start receiving its first patients today. As far as things I'm seeing that are coming out of Hubei province, especially Wuhan, the hospitals and that are still pretty stretched there. They're still finding it pretty difficult to cope, and that's really just due to the sheer number of cases they have to deal with. But as this hospital comes online, and in another few days another field hospital will come online, the authorities are shipping quite a large number of personnel there, and also they are shipping quite a lot of supplies there. I'll run a couple of videos while I'm talking, so you don't have to just look at my boring face. You can actually see some of the things that are going on there. So next is today is should have been the first day back at work after the Chinese holidays. Certainly in Shenzhen, where I am, that holiday has been extended for another week. However, the Chinese stock market has opened today, and it was predicted that there's going to be a massive drop. As I'm recording this, just checking the markets, the stock market, it's down just a little over 1%, which is not too bad considering the situation here in China. I believe the Chinese authorities have put a number of measures in place to try and alleviate some of the stock market sell-off. One of those things is they've put a limit on short selling. So this will obviously what happens in the Chinese stock market will have a ripple effect around the world. So it is important that the authorities do take measures to stabilize this. Next is some really pretty possibly very good news. Some doctors in Thailand have treated a 71-year-old female patient there with a mixture of drugs that are normally used to treat HIV and flu. And this patient was confirmed to have the coronavirus disease, and after treatment with these drugs, she was tested again 48 hours later, and it appears that she has now tested negative. So this is quite promising, although it is still early days. I hope that sort of scientists and researchers around the world are doing more investigation from this initial success that has appeared to happen. I think it was either Thailand or the Philippines. Yeah, just to confirm, it was actually Thailand. Also, some more good news is that the authorities in the last 7 days have got a mask factory built and put into production in Beijing. This will help. It's gone into manufacture of mass today, and it has a capacity to manufacture millions of masks per month. This again will be good news because there is still quite a shortage of masks within China. I think Westerners need to remember that China does have a population of 1.4 billion people, and obviously pretty much almost all of those people want to be wearing masks currently, which is the advice from the authorities. So the demand for masks here is absolutely huge. So the next thing I want to talk about is really not so good news. I'm seeing more reports that people are becoming more xenophobic towards Chinese mainlanders around the world. This is especially so in Hong Kong, and there's been 2 bombs discovered at a border crossing in Hong Kong on a train. I really find this really kind of crazy that at a time like this, really everybody should be pulling together and supporting China, not being hostile against China and its people. That is really not the right thing to be doing at this time. Okay, so this morning I went out. I needed to get some shopping. I needed to buy some potatoes, some bread flour, because I make my own bread here, because I'm from England, and the bread I can buy here is not like English bread. So a couple of years ago I brought a bread making machine from the UK and bought it here, so I make my own bread. And I needed to get some flour, and I went to my local supermarket. It was pretty quiet, not many people about. As I said earlier, it is what would have been the end of the Chinese New Year Spring Festival, so it would have been pretty much back to normal today, but it was really, really quiet out there. I noticed that there's more places that are setting up temperature checks and controlling people going in and out of certain places. As we went into the supermarket, we had our temperatures checked. Now I know this is not a foolproof method, because it has been found that people are spreading this disease with this virus without showing any symptoms, but it is an extra measure that if people do have symptoms, they're being picked up. Hopefully if people do have symptoms, they will report to a hospital and get themselves checked out. But you've always got the eventuality that some people won't. They will think they're okay to go out. So this is just another measure. And I'm sure that China are being advised by the WHO and all the world's experts. So I guess it's a measure that has been advised for them to do. So they are doing that. But when I was in the supermarket, I noticed that pretty much everything was in stock. They got plenty of stock of vegetables and things like that. So some of these sort of scare videos you're seeing online about the shelves being empty, I can sort of say in my area that is not true. I also watched a live press conference today by the Guangdong authorities. Actually, it was not. No. It wasn't by the Guangdong authorities. It was by the national authorities, to say they're putting a lot of procedures in place to sort of organise the logistics of all these necessity, these essential items, so essential food items and essential medical items, so they get distributed around the country much more efficiently and quickly during this sort of crisis time. And so there are a few areas with shortage of things, and I think the authorities are working hard to alleviate those shortages. Okay, and the last thing I want to sort of mention today, which I feel quite annoyed about, annoyed and upset actually, is that there's an American politician by the name of Wilbur Ross, and he was conducting an interview with a TV network yesterday, and a comment he made was that, I think it will really help the American economy that this virus has happened in China. And I really find comments like this unbelievable at this time. I really think it's really not a smart move to be making comments like that at a time when so many people are, you know, going through this situation here in China. And it's not just China, you know, people all around the world are worried. So I really think that was not the smartest move, and I think that guy is very, very foolish to do that. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's update. Again, I'll be back tomorrow to give you an update on the situation. And if you like our channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate everybody who supports us and watches us. As usual, take care.